foolishness that you felt like was no big deal at one particular time has blossomed into a whole forest of big deal. Because my husband has all over the internet about having sex with his wife with cancer.
This one took everyone by surprise. Kimmi Scott, often seen as the calm, steady heart of love and marriage, Huntsville, has reportedly filed for divorce from her husband, Maurice Scott. Fans were left shocked, confused, and heartbroken. For years, Kimmi and Maurice seemed like the most solid couple on the show. They weren't the loudest. They didn't create drama for the cameras. They were the couple that always kept it real and seemed to genuinely care for each other. So what happened? Well, what happened behind the scenes might just explain it all. From the very first season, Kimmi and Maurice stood out for all the right reasons.
Listen.
I love this.
I can clean up, okay? This looks really nice.
You have nothing to do with this.
No, I help select you. I was like, hey, give Makita a try.
While other cast members got caught up in arguments and messy situations, these two were the voice of reason. Kimmi, especially, was known for her calm demeanor and thoughtful approach. She wasn't just a reality TV star, she's a full-time nurse, a devoted mother, and a businesswoman who also ran a catering company and worked in real estate. She wore many hats and wore them well. Kimmi didn't chase the spotlight. She was the one trying to settle things when tensions rose, always choosing peace over pettiness. Even during her toughest challenge, her breast cancer diagnosis, she stayed strong. She allowed cameras to follow her journey, not for attention, but to let other women know they weren't alone. That kind of bravery doesn't go unnoticed. Maurice, on the other hand, is a man driven by ambition. He owns a credit repair company, he's a lawyer, and he's constantly talking about building wealth and leaving a legacy for his family. He works hard, there's no doubt about it. But over time, it became clear that all that drive came with a cost, especially when it came to his marriage.
You know the hardest thing
What?
of the whole thing?
What?
Is making a phone call to you. I know you're my life partner and you're my love, but at the end of the day, that's a phone call I never thought I'd have to make.
At first, fans thought everything between Kimmi and Maurice was fine. They weren't perfect, but who is? They communicated better than most, supported each other through challenges, and always seemed to find their way back to each other. But in the most recent seasons, that dynamic began to change. Kimmi started to share more about her struggles, how she often felt ignored during conversations, how Maurice didn't seem emotionally present, and how the burden of keeping everything together was falling mostly on her. She brought it up gently, but you could tell she was exhausted. Viewers noticed that their conversations felt more one-sided. Kimmi would speak her heart, but Maurice didn't always respond in a way that made her feel heard or supported. Maurice seemed stuck in business mode. While he thought he was doing what was best for their future, he wasn't always seeing what was right in front of him, his wife needing him, not as a business partner, but as her husband. As Kimmi's battle with cancer unfolded, her emotional and physical exhaustion became impossible to ignore. She didn't just have to fight for her health, she also had to keep the household running and hold on to whatever was left of her marriage. And it was clearly taking a toll. In some episodes, viewers saw her break down in tears, clearly overwhelmed.
It's, to me, hurtful to see anybody have to go through that, because you don't wish that on anybody. You wish that it's just, more levels of success.
These weren't over-the-top TV moments, they were raw and real. Through it all, Maurice stayed focused on work. He meant well, but he missed the mark. Kimmi voiced again and again that she needed him to be more present, more involved. But Maurice stayed locked into building his brand, missing the emotional side of the relationship. Slowly but surely, the woman who was always calm, always collected, started to fade. Fans began to notice. On social media, people said Kimmi looked drained, less lively, and more emotionally distant. Her body language said more than words ever could. What led to this possible divorce wasn't one big fight or scandal, it was a slow burn. Missed connections. Emotional fatigue. Feeling like she was doing it all alone. Kimmi stayed strong for as long as she could, but even the strongest people reach their breaking point. And now, the rumor mill is on fire. Word on the street is that Kimmi has filed for divorce. It hasn't been officially confirmed yet, but fans are convinced. They've seen the signs. In recent clips and sneak peeks, Kimmi and Maurice had serious heart-to-hearts that didn't feel like ordinary disagreements. In one particularly tense scene, Kimmi called Maurice out over something from his past, and her tone made it clear she was done pretending everything was okay.
It was hella disrespectful, and it doesn't protect me. And now I have to answer questions from my mother?
Yeah, I didn't think about the collateral damage. To me, it was like, if I just apologize to my wife.
Fans online exploded with reactions. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, you name it, the conversation is happening. Hashtags like Team Kimmi and Team Maurice are everywhere. Some fans were shocked. Others said they saw it coming a mile away. One tweet said, "Kimmi has always been the most level-headed person on this show. If she's walking away, it's because she's tried everything else first." Another fan commented on Instagram, "You could see it in her eyes. She's tired. Tired of holding everything together while he focuses on work and ignores her pain." But not everyone is turning on Maurice. Some are still rooting for him. A few fans believe he's finally realizing just how much he's taken Kimmi for granted. One person wrote, "Maybe this is what Maurice needed, a wake-up call. I believe he loves her, but love isn't enough if you're not showing up." On Reddit, things got even deeper. One user wrote, "Kimmi has been too patient for too long. He always gets to explain things away with a speech. It's time she got real support." Another said, "I don't think divorce is the only answer, but Maurice has to change, not just talk about changing." Now that the news is out, Maurice is reportedly spiraling. Clips from Love and Marriage, Huntsville show a man who seems more desperate than ever. The cool, confident businessman is now begging for one more shot. He's realizing he might lose someone irreplaceable. One of the lowest points for Maurice was a past comment he made during Kimmi's cancer treatment. In an interview, he made a shockingly insensitive remark about intimacy, saying she should just bend over and take it. The backlash was immediate. Kimmi was hurt. Viewers were furious. That moment stayed with people. Now, Maurice is trying to take it back.
However, listen to what I'm saying. I don't put it past people. So I'm not one to say, "Oh, it's never gonna happen in my life. It ain't That's not me. Nobody. You could tell me tomorrow he cheated. I'd be like, "Ew." That stuff doesn't surprise me.
He says he regrets his words and wishes he'd been more understanding. He's admitting he was wrong and says he wants to do better. Friends close to the couple say he's been pleading with Kimmi, asking her to reconsider, saying he's willing to go to therapy and make real changes. But the big question is, will Kimmi believe him? Or is it too little, too late? People close to the Scotts are starting to speak out too. Some of Kimmi's friends are supporting her decision, saying she deserves peace, healing, and a fresh start. Others are saying Maurice is finally waking up and seeing just how much Kimmi has been through, not just in their marriage, but in her life overall. Social media is just as divided. Some fans are saying Maurice needs to be held accountable, that his actions and lack of support during Kimmi's health battle are unforgivable. Others are hopeful they can work things out, if he's truly ready to change. But no matter where people stand, one thing is clear: this isn't just drama for TV. It's personal. It's emotional. And fans are deeply invested in what happens next. Right now, Kimmi seems to be focusing on herself, and honestly, who could blame her? After everything she's been through, from her health struggles to carrying so much of the emotional load in her relationship, she's finally putting herself first. She's talked about wanting peace, healing, and independence. She's not out here bashing Maurice. She's simply choosing herself, and that's powerful. She's still the same Kimmi fans have always loved. Strong, compassionate, graceful under pressure. But now, she's also prioritizing her own joy, and that's something people are applauding. So, what happens now? It's hard to say. Maurice is trying to fix things. Kimmi seems ready to move on. There may still be love between them, but sometimes love isn't enough. Sometimes, you need presence, understanding, and partnership. And if those things are missing, even the strongest love can break. Fans will be watching closely. Whether it ends in divorce or reconciliation, People are rooting for Kimmi to find peace and for Maurice to learn from this. Because in the end, this isn't just about a marriage ending. It's about a woman realizing her worth, choosing peace, and stepping into a new chapter on her own terms. What do you think? Is it really the end for Kimmi and Maurice? Or do you think they can find their way back to each other? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and stay tuned for more updates from Love and Marriage, Huntsville, because this story is far from over. And there you have it, y'all, one of the most unexpected and emotional twists we've seen on Love and Marriage, Huntsville. Kimmi and Maurice were the couple many of us looked up to. They gave us hope that love could survive anything: sickness, stress, and even fame. But as we've all now seen, even the strongest bonds can break when one person feels unheard, unseen, and unsupported for too long. What makes this story so real, and honestly so heartbreaking, is that Kimmi didn't walk away overnight. She fought for her marriage. She showed up through every storm, even while fighting cancer, raising a family, and managing businesses. That kind of strength is rare,